All right, so today we're going to be combining like terms. And like I said, this isn't a section from the book, but it's definitely something that's super important, so I wanted to go over it. So some important vocab. We have a term, which is a number, a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables. So here in this example down below, this would be one term, this would be another term, and this would be the third term. So we would have three terms here. The coefficient is the numerical factor of a term, so what's being multiplied to our variable is the coefficient. So we'd have a coefficient of -4 and 7, so the coefficient's what's being multiplied. And then the constant is a term with no variables, so this -6 would be our constant. So like terms have the same variable to the same power. Like terms can be combined, unlike terms cannot be combined. So in order to combine two terms, they have to be like terms. So here we see that we have a 2x and a -5x. We could combine these together because they both have that x. Here they both have an a, so we can combine those together. The third example, they both have an x times y squared, so we could combine these. So they have to have the same variables to the same power. So same variables to the same power. So some unlike terms would be if we had an x and a y, we can't combine those. If we had a y and a y squared, can't combine those because they have different powers. Or an x and a constant. We couldn't combine those because they don't have the same variable. All right, this brings us to our first example. So we need to combine like terms. So starting with our first term, we have a 7x squared. Do we have any other terms that we can combine with this?
4x squared.
Perfect, this -4x squared. We can combine these together because they both have that x squared. So when we combine terms, all we're doing is adding our coefficients together. So we have 7 and a -4. What's 7 minus 4?
3.
3. So this would be 3, and then our variable stays the same. So 3x squared. Next, we have this plus 3y squared. So plus 3y squared. Do we have any terms that we can combine with this?
2y squared.
2y squared. So we add our coefficients together, so when we combine these two, what are we going to have?
5y squared.
Plus 5y squared. Awesome. All right, our next example. I always like to start with the first term and see if we have anything that is a like term with that we can combine. So starting with our 3x, do we have anything we can combine with 3x?
4x.
-4x. So what do we get when we combine 3x and -4x?
X.
X.
Just x?
Negative.
X. Because remember, 3 minus 4 would be -1, and we don't have to put our 1. If the 1's a coefficient, we don't have to write it. And then next, we have a plus 2a. What do we do with the plus 2a?
Keep it.
We just keep it. We just write it right after our minus x. So we would just write plus 2a. So simplifying this, we get -x plus 2a. Any questions here? Ready for the next one? All right, here we have to do a little bit of simplifying before we can combine like terms. What do you think we need to do first?
Get rid of the outside numbers on the parentheses.
How do we get rid of them?
Distribute.
Distribute, awesome. So we need to distribute this negative to what's inside our parentheses. So we get negative 3k minus m. And then we have to distribute the 2. So this becomes plus 2k minus, we have 2 times negative 4m, which would be minus 8m. Everybody with me so far? So now let's look at our first term. We have this minus 3k. Can we combine it with anything?
Yes.
What can we combine it with?
2K.
2k. What do we get when we have negative 3k plus 2k?
Negative K.
Awesome. Negative k. Next we have negative m. Can we combine negative m with anything?
Negative 8M.
Negative 8m. What do we get when we combine negative m minus 8m?
Negative 9m.
Awesome, negative 9m. So this is just negative 1 minus 8. So that would give us negative 9m. So our answer is negative k minus 9m. Any questions from this one? All right, last example. First, we're going to start with our first term. So we have this negative 7ab. What can we combine with negative 7ab?
Both negative 3.
Perfect. We have a negative 3ab and a negative 3ab. So when we're just looking at our coefficients, we have negative 7, minus 3, and minus 3. What do we get when we subtract negative 7 minus 3 minus 3?
Negative 13.
Awesome. So negative 13, and then what's the variable that we put behind it?
AB.
Perfect. AB. Next, we move to our next term. So we have plus 6b minus 4b. What do we get when we combine these two?
Plus 2.
2b.
Plus 2b. So plus 2b. So our answer is negative 13ab plus 2b. You guys do not have to turn in the notes today. So don't turn in the notes today. I'll change it to a not graded assignment. But you can go ahead and get started on the homework. So there's a combining like terms homework assignment.